This is video response number 3. And I chose Black Voices from the Black Voices section, Strange Humors by the Battleworks Dance Company, performed by Samuel L. Roberts and George Smallwood. Okay, at first glance, I considered the name Battleworks. It was very much so like the dancers were, like it was a battle at work. And when I considered the actual name of the dance, which was Strange Humors, I can see how the battle plays in the idea of different or opposite personalities. I'm not sure if it was intended, but the fact that one dancer was black and the other was white, it gave me the sense of a yin and yang, especially since a lot of their moves were in a circular motion, like they were moving in a circle or moving their bodies in a circle. For the most part, the dancers faced and moved in a diagonal plane. I don't know what that plane is specifically called. If not that, they were interconnected in a way where one was facing forward towards the crowd and the other was facing backwards. And I noticed that they did a phrase and then they repeated it more dramatically. And in the beginning, they used more accentuated and slow movements, along with using their necks and their head to send the movement all the way through their body to let it travel all the way from like their feet, because they accentuated their feet a lot, from their feet all the way to their head. And that connection between the movements of their body and their neck and their head, like presented a more flow between the actions. Also, they mostly performed one behind another as if to showcase one personality more than the other. And they often did the same moves but in opposite directions, or with the opposite arm and leg, and that showed me like the polarity between personalities. And their bodies, they jerked a lot of their head, their midsection, and their legs throughout the dance. And there was an emphasis on extending their legs, like I said. And towards the end of the dance, as the beat started pulsating more, they moved rhythmically with the music in the background. So they were doing a lot of jerking of the midsection and a lot of jerking of the head and neck. And it was as if they were like losing control of their personality. And then they continued to do that until eventually they jump spinned and fell into the ground. I might attempt to do it. And one thing I noticed about this dance, it was more intense than the other ones I've seen. It was like, because it was two men dancing so closely together, not to be homophobic, it would be the same thing if it were two women, but it was like they were the same thing, but they were polar opposites emotionally. And it made me think of the polar parts of myself and how I control and present them. Yep. Okay, that is it. I decided not to do the ending jump spin because I tried it a few times and it's not working out. And I'm in a little bit of a tight space. I focused a lot on making sure that I wasn't being too stiff in my body. Like especially when I did that long kick, and I tried to make sure I was using my head a lot like the dancers were. I just really wanted to make sure I was being loose. And also, what else was I doing? Oh, the beat. Because the beat, the dancers, they moved a lot to certain points of the beat, so I tried to keep up with that. It's really, you can hear the points of the beat that they stop at or that they emphasize, and I just tried to stay in line with them. So hope I did it.